Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today we are planning the January TBR. I can't believe it. Like, where did the year go that we are already planning the new year? So what books are we going to start the new year with? Let's find out. So for planning my TBR, I've decided I'm going to play my TBR Wheel, a game again this year. And so that is where I have a spinner wheel set up on the computer and I spin it, and whatever prompt comes up, I choose a book that matches that prompt. However, I am also going to play Katie's Around the World-a-thon. So she announced this kind of year-long challenge or reading thought, like, I don't know, what's she calling it? She's just calling it Around the World-a-thon. So she announced this, so I will link the announcement video from her in the description box below. So I have printed off her game board and I have the instructions, and then I have all the prompts printed off. So I am going to play one round of this game to choose the first book on my TBR. Then I will move to the computer and do the wheel spins to choose 5 more books for my TBR. So I will still have a total of 6 books for my TBR for the month. So for her game, as I said, I've got the board printed off and put it in my reading journal so that I can move. Then the little piece that I'm going to use is just this little double-decker bus that we picked up when we were in England. So yeah, just cute little double-decker. Okay. Then I've got all the cloud prompts in this jar, and so this is, well, jar, cup, whatever. So it's a Central Perk coffee mug sort of thing. This was given to us by friends. I don't know if it was last Christmas or the Christmas before, but it's just been sitting on our counter, and it's like, okay, well, let's use it for this, because this way I can't see when I'm choosing what the prompt is. I can't see what they are. So I have this one for all my cloud prompts. So in this mug, I have all the globe prompts. So we've got a globe and then the prompt on the other side. And apparently I can't refold. So they're all in there. And this mug is from Bradford, Yorkshire. For my 16th birthday, my mom and I went over to England to see my grandma and my aunts and uncles to visit family. We went over in this summer, so I was still 15 at the time, but it was my 16th birthday gift. But because my birthday's in November, and due to my parents' occupation, they couldn't go take vacation in November, so we went that summer when it was nicer. So during that trip, we went to the Museum of Photography, Film, and Television in Bradford. So on this mug, it says, "Do you know how television works?" And then it says, "We found out at the National Museum of Photography, Film, and Television in Bradford." So I love this mug, just the black and white, the simplicity of it. But this mug is over 25 years old. Less than 30 years old. So now you kind of know what age range I am. And so because of the age of the mug, we do not use it as a coffee mug. I mean, I did at one point, but we don't anymore. It just kind of sits in the cupboard. So I thought, hey, this is perfect. It's from overseas. Let's use it to hold the prompts. So that is what I'm going to do. So we're going to start the game. And we are going to go over to the table and roll the dice for the first prompt. So this is the little double-decker bus that I have and says London on it. Can't turn it around. London. I'm going to start here because then this will count as 1. Okay, we have a 3. So 1, 2, 3. We landed on a passport, which is a family or a friend pick. I can't believe this is the first prompt that we're starting out with for the year. Like, really? When Christine sees this, she's going to be so excited. However, I'm kind of bending the rules a little bit. I mean, it is a friend pick, but I'm going to choose the book that she's going to make me read. I know, that probably just didn't make any sense just then. But I am going to read A Distant Shore by Karen Kingsbury. So if you saw my Bookmas videos, you will see that I had to read a chapter from this book and 3 other books. And then I had to decide which book I wanted to continue reading. But I didn't know what books those chapters were from when I read it. So I will link that Bookmas video in the description below. I think it was day 9, but I just need to double check that. But the book that I ended up choosing to continue reading was A Distant Shore by Karen Kingsbury. And so Christine gifted me this book, so now I have it physically. So that's why I'm saying it's her pick for me, because basically she made me read that chapter and decided for me to, that would be one of the books I would read. So I'm going to continue with that book. Yeah. So I've never read Karen Kingsbury before, and if you saw that video, you kind of know the little background story to Karen Kingsbury. But this is not, from what I've been told, this is not one of Karen's traditionally typed stories. So it is more of a mystery suspense from what I understand. I could be completely wrong on that. It doesn't say a genre on the back of it, it just says fiction. So I'm not sure. But I was tearing up in chapter 1. And it was like, that can't happen, like no way. And then, I mean, it did happen, and it was like, okay, now what? Like, oh, like, what a way to start a book when it's already got the emotional feels. So yes, so this is the book that I'm saying Christine has chosen for me, because I wouldn't have picked it up if it wasn't for her. So, yeah. If she does not approve of this, she will tell me here. If she does okay, she'll tell us here. So hopefully this will be what I start the year out with. Okay, so that is book number 1. So book number 2, we're going to go to the wheel and we are going to spin. Okay, so the prompt that came up for book number 2 is a friend pick. Like, are you kidding me? The first 2 books of the year, I don't get to choose what I'm going to read. Okay, so I am going to contact my friend and let them choose. And I know Christine wants to be the one that's going to choose, but on my wheel I have a BFF pick. So for a friend pick, it's somebody other than Christine. So I will be back. Okay, so I contacted my friend and I asked him to pick a number between 1 and 25 because I figured I could choose a number from one of those books from my TBR bingo boards, because I have 2 of them. So he came back with the number 23. So on my new Reads bingo board, 23 is By Reason of Insanity by Randy Singer. And I just had to laugh when this was the first book that I saw, like, that matched 23, because we are always talking about how insane his workplace is, and he's always joking about he works with, like, insane people. And so the fact that it was insanity was part of the title, yeah, I had to have a laugh about that. Then on my Rereads bingo board, number 23 is Lake of the Cross by L.D. Stoth. So I gave him these 2 options, and I said, okay, which one? And he said, and I thought for sure he was going to go with this one. But no, he chose Lake of the Cross by L.D. Stoth. He said he did not choose this one because he has enough insanity in his life, and he didn't want to subject me to more. So yeah, so I'm going to read this one. So Lake of the Cross is book number 2 of the Campground Mysteries series. This is a Christian fiction by a local author. And I have read book 1 and book 2 before, but I have not read book 3, which I do have on my shelves to read. So that is why I'd like to read the whole series. So this will be the book that will fit the friend pick. But will I be able to get books 1 and book 3 on this TBR, or am I going to be adding to my TBR and having more than 6 books? We are going to find out. Spin number 2 for our 3rd book. Okay, so we have to play another round of Katie's TBR game. Okay, so let's go back to the table and play another round. Okay, so we need a cloud prompt. It's going to be one of these guys. Okay, so it is start a new series. Okay, so the prompt that came up is start a new series. Okay, so start a new series. When it says new series, that means it can't be a series that I've already read one time before, right? Because I was really hoping I could add book 1 of this series, but I've already read that series before, so I don't think that really counts. So I decided to go with Edge of Peril by Christy Barrett. This is book number 1 of the Fog Lake Mysteries series. It is a romantic suspense, and it is the beginning of a series. And it's actually the only book of the series I own, so yeah, that could be dangerous, actually, now that I think about it a little bit more, but oh well. So that is the one we are going to read, or I am going to read. Okay, so spin number 3 for book number 4. That's not confusing at all, right? A one-word title. Do I have any one-word titles on my bingo boards? Because those are the books I want to prioritize for the year. I do. Okay, so I am going to read Bleachers by John Grisham. This is a sports fiction centered around football, from what I understand, a quarterback. Neely Crenshaw was probably the best quarterback ever to play for the legendary Messiana Spartans. I'm probably not saying that right. So, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. So I said that I was going to try to read some of my John Grisham books this year to see if I really wanted to keep them or not. So this is going to be the first one that I'm going to read for the year of John Grisham anyways. So yes. So this is book number 4. Now we need to spin for book number 5. A legal thriller. Well, I feel like it's pretty much telling me to read this one. It's a legal thriller. I've already pulled it to kind of look at it already for the friend pick, so might as well. Why not just add some insanity to the life, right? So yeah, so I don't know a lot about it other than it says, a series of unsolved murders, a woman who knows too much, a lawyer in over his head. Sometimes insanity is the only way out. So that is the one we're going to try. Okay, so for our last book, what spin are we going to get this time? Okay, so we got Rereads bingo board. So I created a spinner wheel for the Rereads bingo. So I'm going to open that one, and then we're going to spin and see what book it's going to make me read. Okay, so it came up with Agent Undercover. So that is by Lynette Eason. It is a romantic suspense. It came out in August 2011, and it says, "What does little Alex know? The traumatized 6-year-old boy hasn't said one word since the unsolved murder of his single mother. And now the killer is after the child and the devoted uncle raising him, Dr. Dylan Seabrook. Working undercover in the boys' school, DEA agent Paige Ashworth is determined to find the murderer. But she can't tell Dylan her real identity, what she knows, or just how close to the case she really is. Dylan's strength and fierce love for his nephew soon have Paige longing to join their family. First, though, they must catch a killer who never wants little Alex to speak again." 6-year-old boy? Wow. Yeah. So that is going to be the 6th book. So, the books I will be reading this month is A Distant Shore by Karen Kingsbury. Now, I plan to read this unless Christine vetoes it, which she'll say if she approves or does not approve, somewhere here. So this will be the first book. Then book number 2 was Lake of the Cross by L.D. Stoth. Book number 3 is Edge of Perel by Christy Barrett. Book number 4 is Bleachers by John Grisham. Book number 5 is By Reason of Insanity by Randy Singer. And book number 6 is Agent Undercover by Lynette Eason. So, I mean, that's a pretty nice mix of genres there. So we've got romantic suspense, legal, sports, mystery, maybe a mystery, and then the one on my Kindle is a romantic suspense. So, and a good little mix. So yes, so that is what I plan to be reading in January. So what books are on your TBR for January? I'd love to chat in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today. Have a good day. Bye.